So, um, man, it's been so long. How do we do the intro again?
Usually you throw me under the bus and I wing it in a panic.
Sounds good. Lil, why don't you take us through the intro today?
All right, so we are Mystical Motivation, and today we are going to be talking about something that hits probably a lot of people a little bit close to home, and it's starting streaming and kind of finding motivation to do that.
Exactly. So, starting the journey of streaming, whether it's streaming on Twitch or other platforms, even just exploring the idea of creating a type of stream. Like you'll hear the term for streaming often referred to mostly to Twitch because that's the known. But there is also Facebook Live streaming, TikTok streaming, Instagram Go Live streaming, YouTube streaming. I'd even say like YouTube video content for even videos, even though you're not live streaming, it's still a streaming service. So how does motivation tie into that? That is the big question posed today, and I can't think of anyone better to pose the question to than Lil here.
Yeah, my I don't even like because I have the brain of a goldfish and I don't remember things very well, but I started I've always wanted to make YouTube content. I used to make these dumb little videos when I was a kid, which I'll never expose what those were because it's just cringe. So I've always like loved the idea of like creating content for others to enjoy and things like that. But I was too scared to try it because I just kind of figured it was out of my reach and that it wasn't something I could ever do because I don't know why. It's just my brain is mean to me sometimes, and that's what it said. It said, you can't do this thing. But then I met Astrals here, who is constantly telling me that I can do the thing. So he was a big motivator for me to actually start streaming and get in front of a camera to start. So that's my how I started.
I think like the key thing that I always love about that story is the fact that it was like a push that happened. I don't know why. I kind of know why, but for the last whiles of my life, anytime I'm talking with someone and they're like, I need to do something new, it's quite literally I shove them into it. I have a tendency to pull people into things or push them into things, not things that are they're not gonna want to do, but things that are like, should I try it? I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, go do it. Here you go, jump in the water, have fun. So I have a reputation between a lot of communities as being the person to push you, to get you to do things, and for me, that's a motivator for me because I often have to push myself to do things because I get demotivated on working on stuff, and it's a thing all of us take in. And with streaming, it's a big leap forward. People can think streaming is easy. It has that connotation and thought that it's just me, a person, sitting in front of a camera talking. And I mean, sure, it is. But have you considered the technical side? Is your computer equipped to handle it? Do you have the appropriate software? Do you know the content that you want to produce? The community you want to take? The brand you're going to have on? The space available? The time commitment? The networking capabilities? And the future plans of where you want that to go? And I don't know what 10 thinks, so I won't raise the 10th finger. But it's a lot of things. And starting out is daunting. For me, it took me probably a month before I even did my first stream, and I was at a loss of where to go. And getting motivated with help from my friends was how like I got into it. And you have to look for the ways to get motivated to do that push and start. Having friends kind of encourage and push you into something is a great way. Having a thought or a dream to accomplish that you want to make a community where everyone can come from, be open, and talk about any issues they're having in life and seek a safe refuge is a great way to keep motivated as well. Having a cute little chinchilla that wants to spin around in the
Sorry.
wheel and provide it a home is an adorable goal to have as well. It's keeping in the little things like that that you can.
To like not laugh because all I can hear is the squeaking. I'm like, oh my god, please stop. You haven't done anything all day and now you want to run in your silent wheel.
Can we have
Uh.
chinchilla time?
Yes.
Yes!
I'll get Killian out. Give me 1 second.
We'll slightly deviate off the motivational topic for our cute chinchilla. This is what makes motivation great, because there are our pets can act as a motivator, and this little guy is super adorable. He's an adorable little chinchilla.
He is. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Okay.
See, like, pets are a motivator too, because like you want to keep providing for your pet, and if your pet is happy, you're happy. If you're happy, your pet is happy. Most of the time, because sometimes pets may not be happy. But pets are a great motivator in order to keep you going forward as well, because you want to give them the best you can. You care for them, no different than you care for a family. And streaming, I will honestly say, is like a family, because you build up a community of people and peers to stick around, encourage, and motivate you together. I should probably change the video topic. That is not motivation and depression at the bottom. I just realized that. I'll edit that in postpartum. So I'll cover it with a title card or something, but it's fixed now. We'll edit that part out. Anyways, but yeah. Question from the chat. Can he do tricks?
No. He's an asshole though and likes to jump off of me. He'll perch on my shoulder and then he'll just freaking dive. But no, he cannot do any tricks. He does eat treats.
Treats is good.
Let me see it, because it's very cute. Hold on, I'm taking off my headset.
Sure.
We're off topic, but it's fine because the chinchilla is cute, so it's fine.
Exactly. We're having a sidetrack from the conversation for the cute chinchilla, which I honestly spend points on because it's adorable to see.
Okay. Now hold on, because this is the cutest thing he does, I think. When I give him a treat, he grabs it with both paws and then he noms.
Aww.
I can't like scoot closer. He likes to feel supported. We feed him. I'm so sorry, Astrals.
Okay.
We feed him these.
Simple rewards.
So that's just because what I found at the store. So.
Well, he's got a fan favorite from Taylor.
I kind of want to. Sorry, I want to go back to the streaming is easy thing, because that is definitely a misconception that I had. I was like, yeah, I can sit and talk to people, even though like I don't normally talk to people until I'm comfortable with them. And then that first stream, I was like, oh, this is kind of difficult actually, and I'm kind of tired. And you know, I stream for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week now, and Josh and I constantly talk about how like when I tell my family that I stream full time, they're like, oh, like you don't have a real job and things like that. It's like, dude, I work like 50 to 60 hours a week. Not recently because of everything that's been going on, but normally 50 to 60 hours a week. So maybe you think there's little reward in it, but to me, there's a lot of reward in it because I am finally happy. So that is huge to me. So I just want to throw that out there. If you're thinking about streaming, do not go into it with the conception that it is easy, because it is not. You have to plan content, and YouTube content is very important if you want to grow Twitch. You're not just going to grow simply off of Twitch. You have to plan content, and you have to sit and conversate with people, and sometimes people don't respond. So you have to keep up that energy for a few hours every time you do it. So it is very exhausting.
Yeah, it takes a toll in it. So, like, a question that got posed is, as a small streamer, what tools helped you grow Twitch / Facebook gaming, whatever medium platforms, to keep motivated? From my standpoint, it was the community was the biggest motivator for me. Establishing a place where people could come to hang out. I very much like to have like a chill stream. You might see me rage playing Magic. That's the nature of a game. It's because I'm passionate about the game, but it doesn't happen often. But I love sharing the highs and the lows with a community and having, friends and people come back, meeting new people, and getting to be like, hey, we're testing out something new today. We're getting to do something cool and memorable, and let's have awesome. I had a really engaging talk yesterday with Surreal, a friend of mine from the DFT community, and we talked for probably close to 2.5 hours. About Commander, the format of Magic the Gathering with the large decks, and the power level, so how strong a deck can be and the concept of that. And Commander is a format we're very passionate about. It's like our I don't want to say our namesake, but it's It's something we're involved in, we make content for, we do things for. And that to me was passion and interest, because like I met Surreal through Commander. I've met him through our Discord, and I got the chance just to sit down and we just talked. We hashed out like a good hour and a half worth of content, and then shot the crap. Excuse my terms. We talked like half hour before we even started recording, and like a half hour to an hour after, just continuing on the concept and growing and learning from it. And like that to me is a motivator, because that was just like, I'm growing and we're approaching in a new era and getting things more forward and expanding on something. It's growing the content is motivating, getting to know new people is motivating if you know you're extrovert or have that tendency, but also just building up the community that you're a part of is the motivator. And aside from the tools, it's the positive reinforcement that you're doing something for the betterment of self-growth and to assist in the self-growth of others and give them a form of entertainment. So those are kind of the tools. I know community may not, terming community as a tool may sound like a used term, but I don't mean it in that a community is being used. I mean it, community is a form of motivator because it's people behind you and encouraging you, and you're encouraging them to do your very best. What about you though, Will?
I would say I'm gonna agree with you. My community keeps me motivated so much. If I have, I've had a lot of things in the works recently, and I am just like so excited to share it with them because they are like my family. So it's so exciting to share those things with them. And then like, last night I did not feel like streaming. I woke up from a nap. I was like, I'm not feeling 100%. Like I don't want to stream, but I knew that there are people in the community who look forward to my streams, and I like making people's days better. I really do. So I was like, I'm going to stream, and I pushed through, and it ended up being awesome. So they are a huge motivator. Other tools I would say is social media. A lot of people I feel underestimate social media and just how much that can help you grow, because you have to think, I have a lot of followers on TikTok who aren't on Twitter. I have, followers who are on Instagram, but not on TikTok, So like using your social media to brand and market yourself is really important. And networking too. Networking is a huge tool. And when I say networking, I don't mean use people to help yourself. What I mean by networking is like making genuine connections with people. I've made some genuine connections with some fairly large streamers. Well, to me, they're large, like Doof and Denny, and you, Astrals. But so networking is also very important. Networking for me takes a lot of motivation because I have really bad anxiety. So I am just, anytime someone's like, I want you to meet this new person, I'm like, no. So, fuck. Sorry, my chinchilla just yeeted himself off my lap. Killian, no, don't go in there.
Killian, don't do it.
Oh my god, he's in the closet. Hold on. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. So while Lil's going to fetch her chinchilla, just kind of extrapolating off of that though, the networking is a big tool for starting out streaming. Your discoverability on a platform just on its own is nil to zero. Especially, I'll use Twitch as an example. The discoverability on Twitch is pretty bad. When you have a networking community growing, it starts to get better. Utilizing other platforms to show your content in different variations and mediums helps to draw people in because they'll get a different sight into you. In the aspect of TikTok. TikTok lets you do 15 to 60 second videos of fun little things. You can take clips from your streams, throw them up on TikTok with like a funny caption, and go to it. So I'll use an example for me. I have a TikTok clip with like 11k views. It's my most viewed one. And it was me casting one of the strongest cards in Magic in the format, Ulamog, Ceaseless Hunger if you know it, on turn 2 with shenanigans. And it was dumb luck that did it. But that dumb luck clip was a memorable clip, an impressive moment, and it went on the platform to show people in. And it's brought in some people to know like, hey, this guy kind of has some funky ideas for stuff. I mean, not that it was my original idea, but I did something different. Twitter's a nice, interesting medium to reach out and engage in conversations on topics. Your character limit is maxed out at like 280, but you can send and pose fun little questions on there and engaging stuff. Instagram, you can post photos for what's going on in the day, stories or reels of what's doing it. Like, you have this, and YouTube as well. YouTube for taking your streaming content and doing side things. You could do blogs about what's going on in your life, stream highlights. Different ways to engage audiences on a platform that they are not normally on, to network with them and draw them in. That's the key of that kind of niche. And that's a lot of thing that people forget about with being new to streaming, and especially with motivating, because it's daunting to start a ton of new content and you don't want to be overwhelmed. But the motivation idea to keep inside is that you are doing this content to keep growing and learning, because you're going to pick up a series of skills by working in all of these different media platforms. Like, Lil, what would you say is like the biggest skill that you've taken away from working on YouTube, working on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter?
The biggest skill?
Yeah.
Freaking editing. Oh my god. I have done so much, and I'm not saying I'm a perfect editor, okay? Like, my edits are mediocre at best. But I know how to do it now. A few months ago, I couldn't have said that. So, I'm going out of my way to learn how to do these things. So, A, I don't have to pay somebody else to do them because it's expensive. I did it once, not doing that again. I'd rather learn the skill set myself. So I think that would be one of the biggest. And then another skill I've learned is patience. Because streaming takes a lot of patience, sometimes more than others. Like when your audio won't work and you have to be on on the phone with your friend for 4 hours trying to fix it, and you're in tears, and he's like, "It's okay, we're gonna figure it out." And I'm like, I'm about to burn my whole PC down. Like, you don't understand.
I'd like to clarify that was Discord, not a phone call, but same premise.
Discord. Yeah, so it takes, I'd say patience is one of them. We're still working on that one. Peep at me swearing at my dinos last night, but...
Yes.
Yeah, I would say those two are physically skills, editing, and also just like learning how to communicate with people better. I think those are my top 3 of what I've really learned from like this journey so far.
I want to focus in on the communication aspect, because like communication and motivation isn't normally something that people will try to draw a relation to, right? Like how does communication and motivation work together? And I mean, from my standpoint, communication is not just engaging and talking with someone, it's laying down the forms of a base of a relationship with someone, the ways of friendship, acquaintance, networking, business, casual, whatever way. Communication is how that's going to be set up, whether it's body language, talking, texting, calling, the different forms that it takes, smoke signals if we're going to be out hiking somewhere, because I don't know, maybe sometime we're doing a camping trip, I don't know. But the different forms of communication help build in for your networking, and updating your communication skills helps you keep motivated because you're bettering yourself with self-growth. So communication works with motivation because you need to be able to communicate what you are motivated about, how you want to be motivated, and what you want to accomplish to get to there. So communication works in with it. I mean, you'd agree, right?
Yeah, 100%. Also, communication with your community is really important. Anytime I have to cancel a stream, I try to give everyone at least a couple hours. Granted, there have been some situations where it's been last minute, like I cannot be there tonight. It's like calling into a job, but you're your boss, which is great. But you do have to, I just kind of want to, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit off topic, but
all good.
Another thing people kind of come into this with is I can schedule. Yes, you can. However, it's really important to remain consistent. I have not changed my schedule very much, other than since I started streaming full time. I have tried to remain consistent in that. The only thing I've really changed is I added another hour on, because the more consistent you are, people are going to know like when to expect you, and things like that. So I think that is consistency is really important, and then that ties into communication as well, because life happens. So if something happens and you can't be at the stream, letting your community know, communicating that with them is so important, and it's going to make them feel important too.
Consistency, I think, is a thing that gets undervalued a lot, especially in motivation. So motivation itself is an active, continual motivation itself is a continual moving thing. If you want to continue making progress, and we've made reference to this in the past, to tackle problems by taking on the little things, you need to be consistent in that for motivation. Motivation isn't just this thing that's a one-off, one and done, that's it, I've finished my thing, I'm gone. Motivation is something you continually work at to keep that feeling and that ability moving forward for your self-growth, for your learnings, for streaming. Consistency plays into that. The more consistent you are, the more people are going to find you, the more they're going to see you, interact with you, know you're there. The more you're going to see, hey, I'm getting the hang of this because I've set in a routine and schedule. I'm taking down this goal one thing at a time. And you're building up a way to keep yourself going and say, like, you know what, like, Friday, that's my stream day. I know it's coming up. I'm consistent on. I'm happy that it's coming. And you're good. Playing into consistency, though, obviously, there are times when you need to take a break in a way. So be consistent in how you communicate about that. Don't give a notice 5 minutes before a stream that you're canceling, unless it's a state of emergency or you're sick, because outside circumstances happen. But if there is a day you were just not feeling it, you're not feeling up to it, something is deterring, give as much notice as you can, and you're being consistent about that notice, and you're giving people the respect of time, right? Respect for your community and the respect they're giving you. A way to look at streaming with motivation tied in is you are sort of like a TV program, right? You are a specific time slot of times of a week you're coming on. Those are the known time slots. You're doing certain things and people are coming to watch that and you. And you want to build up and around that and stick to it as much as you can. Because if you say stream at 12:30 p.m. one day and then it's 8 o'clock the next day and then suddenly you're up at 3 streaming that day, and you don't have consistency, how are people going to be able to find you? And how are you going to be able to establish a plan to work towards or goals to accomplish it if everything is sporadic and random? Spontaneity is good for content, but spontaneity when it comes to developing a schedule is your worst enemy. Right? Schedule and content, while they align, are two separate things. Spontaneity on what you want to do is fine, but spontaneity on a schedule is not okay. You want to have consistentness to keep yourself motivated to work towards your goal that you're trying to do, whatever that goal in streaming may be. And you want spontaneous content, so it's something fresh, new, and vibey, something fun. I'll use today for example. I streamed some Historic. We got up to Diamond 4, and then I switched over to some deck building for fun. I sometimes do deck building on streams. Sometimes I just play one deck. Today we played 3 or 4 different decks. We did some shenanigans, and that was spontaneity of the contact. I was, however, late due to some IRL stuff, but I worked with it. I did my best with it. Here we are still. And I'm motivated about it because I love Sundays. Sundays are a nice chill day. We get to do our talk here.
Yeah, and sorry, I lost it. Oh, the spontaneity with the content. That is really important, and I like hearing that personally because I never have my content planned out. Like I do to an extent. Look, I have
I'm looking.
a general idea, but then if I'm not really feeling a game, I'm not gonna sit there and keep trying to force it. I'm going to switch because at the end of the day, I have to be entertaining, and if I'm not entertained by the thing I'm doing, how in the hell am I supposed to entertain other people with it? And people can tell I am not good at hiding my emotions. People can tell when I'm getting bored of something or getting irritated with something.
100%.
all over my face. So
It is. You're a very expressive person. I mean,
I
I
am.
have my moments of expressiveness. I tried mostly to just kind of be the happy, fun face that I am. But you know, like you said, you have to do stuff you love because doing something you love and keeping motivated is one way to keep with it. You don't want to stream something just for the views. That is the fastest way to be demotivated because then you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Do it because you love it. Keeping motivated is doing something you're passionate about to work towards and want to accomplish. You want to have good feelings towards the thing you love. Not I'm playing I don't know, I don't know, a one-off category game that no one watches, or sorry, a one-off category game that is just the biggest fad now, but you don't like it, but you're just doing it because people love it and people are for the views. But you just kind of grudgingly play it because it gets you views. Like that's not the right way to approach staying motivated about wanting to even start streaming. It's 100% fine to start at a stream with no views. We all start at square one. Start with something you love. People will want to come to you for the personality. If you love a game that's popular, I think that's even better. But play to what you love and do, right? That's why there's so many different streaming communities out there. Variety, like what Lil does. MTG Arena, like what I do. There's the top games, Fortnite, Apex Legends, you know? Develop what you're looking for and what you want to tackle down. Do what you love is kind of the bottom line with it if you're to stay motivated as well, right?
Yeah, and I think that's really important too. After my 12-hour ARC stream that I did, I messed up with that one. I saw my friend playing. I was like, they have a lot of views only when they're playing this game. So I'm going to play this game and I'm going to love it. And I was miserable, mostly because people were being assholes and backseat gaming me. But I was miserable and I ended that stream in tears. I didn't show that on camera, but I was so frustrated. The views were great, but I was not having fun at all. And by the end of it, somebody had, and I told you about that, which I brag about you about that because that was great. I was like, yeah, my mod next day was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, we just straight up.
Yeah. I'm really bad about that, especially when it comes to myself. Like, if they're insulting my community, I'm, like, quick on it. But if it's me, I'm like, maybe they meant it a different way. But that's why I have you guys who are like, no. Sorry, I got off topic.
No,
but
I think that has a tie-in, though, right? So we've touched on community and motivation. Your community is behind you and encouraging you. But there are times as a new streamer, you're still learning things. I learn things, you learn things. We might know most of what we're doing, but we don't know everything. And there are times when self-doubt comes into play. And self-doubt plays against motivation. Because I'll use the example, someone pops into chat and says like a joke that isn't right in any sense. But you're just kind of like, okay, maybe it was taken this way, maybe I just misunderstood, you give them a little warning. And that's self-doubt playing in. Because what you're forgetting about is your community is your own. Just because someone is in chat doesn't mean that they're the one determining what's going on. You are the streamer. You're the one with the goal. You are the one doing things as you like. You can determine who is there or not. People come in by choice. But if someone is going against what you like or against your morals, don't deal with that. Keep motivated and true to you. And deal with that problem. I barely ban people in my chat. I've had to do it a couple times just because, you know, derogatory term comes up, inappropriate comment comes up. But like in Lil's, we've had to do the same because it happens to any streamer. Derogatory term comes up. Someone making a very bad joke or breaking the TOS comes up. It happens, and we deal with that to keep and help the streamer. That's part of the community, right? I want Lil to stay motivated and her to do her best, and she wants the same for her community and us. You work tandem in that, and that plays in the networking, because while we're both best friends, while we're fellow streamers, while we're mods for each other, we're also networking and teammates. Like, I want to make sure Lil's pushing towards her dream. She wants to make sure I'm doing the same. And we want to make sure we don't lose sight of the type of community that we're working on building.
Yes, 100%. And that stream was probably one of the most frustrating streams I've ever had, and I think part of it is because I felt pressure to play that game in particular. Because I was watching other streams too. I was like, this has a lot of views, and I got caught up in that damn number game, and I was like, I want to keep growing. I'm gonna try this new game. I shouldn't have tried the new game for a 12-hour stream. That's important. I shouldn't have branded that 12-hour stream as dedicated to that game. And I learned from it. But I stopped playing it after that. I played what I wanted. I took a step back from it and I was like, okay, I'm ready to try this game again. And now I'm a little bit addicted to it. So, but I recognize when I need to take a step back because, again, at the end of the day, it's more than the numbers. And you have to enjoy what you're creating. Because, again, if you are not enjoying what you're creating, how can you expect other people to? So,
100%. You need to enjoy what you're creating for others to even begin to enjoy. That is in essence the biggest goal. One thing with being new to streaming and motivation is taking away lessons. If a stream goes bad, you will be sad about it. It happens. There have been streams I've been frustrated against. But the best thing you can do to stay motivated about it is to look for the lesson you can take away from it. Like in Lilith's case, the 12-hour stream targeted towards a game she's never played. I don't think you'll probably ever do something like that again, unless it's a game you're going to love right off the bat. I mean, for me, it was a 12-hour stream. I wasn't really prepped with enough supplies and water, and I had to stop after 7 hours because I was dehydrated. It was a 12-hour drinking stream stuff, and I didn't have enough water on hand to stay hydrated. So 7 hours in, I had to stop because I had a really bad headache and needed to go pass out to clear it. So for me, preparation, that was the lesson I took away from that stream. Learning the lessons of what goes bad and taking that away is a motivator to continue to pushing yourself to do better in the future. Take away every experience and lesson you can from every stream to grow on it.
Definitely. And a couple of weeks ago, I was getting really frustrated with my streams, but the problem was I was showing it on stream, and my fiance is my best friend, and he gives me tough love when I need it. And he sat me down and he was like, "You need to get your shit together. You cannot show how frustrated you are with the stream because there are people there who maybe aren't going to feel as appreciated or you don't want them there and things like that." So when I'm grumpy, I'm just straight up grumpy. It's really hard. I've gotten better about it since I started streaming. I'm very good about picking my energy back up, except for this couple of weeks. But yeah, he gave me that tough talk and it was hard to hear, but I was like, oh, you're right. It was kind of like a wake up call. You can't just focus so heavily on the things that are going wrong. And you and I have talked about this multiple times. I guess I just need to hear it from multiple different people because of my goldfish brain. But don't streams, like Astral said, streams are going to go bad. You're going to have bad days. Don't focus on those. When you're having those days, focus more on the high, if you will, of those good streams and use that to help motivate you because you want that feeling again. So maybe use that to help motivate you and kind of just learn, like he said, learn from whatever you think went wrong during that stream. That is in your control. Don't focus on your viewers. I know Astros, you keep that off. Don't focus on the number of viewers you have because ultimately, you can only do so much. You can't force people to watch. So focus on goals that you yourself can control. Because I think that's, and I'm going to work on that personally too. I think that will really help you to stay motivated once you do start streaming, if you're running into those rough patches.
Yeah, 100%. I would say here are the big takeaways to keep in mind with motivation and being new to streaming. Networking is a big one. Networking is going to help you meet peers that you are going to encourage, and they're going to encourage you to work towards your goals. have a clear sight of what you want out of streaming, i.e., don't do it for the views, but do it with an idea in mind, whether it's just you want to start streaming. Even that is a fine goal in itself, because you're experiencing new waters. You don't need to have an end goal in sight, but have an initial goal at least. You can develop your long-term plan if it's something you like after trying. Keep in mind about your community. Your community is there for you and you are there for them. They are a motivator for you and you are motivating them, because you're keeping each other in thoughts and minds to work towards something. Every community will approach things differently, but in the end, it's a cohesive relationship between a streamer and their community. And I think kind of the last point, like we said, is lessons. Take away the experiences and the lessons from each stream and experience you can to continue your growth up and work towards where you want to be at.
Yes, I agree with all of those things as well.
Although I don't know that I have much more really to add on this. About the same?
Yeah, I think it would be fun if once, like, you know, when we hit partner, when we get, like, you know, bigger, we like revisit it and like kind of talk about what we learned. I just had that idea like 2 seconds ago and I needed to blurt it out before I forget.
No, that's fair. It's the streamer from where they were to where they are now.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun thing to do, like, way in the future.
Yeah.
If you wanted.
Hands
I probably
down,
won't
I'd do it.
remember that tomorrow, but, you know.
I'm only going to have one request. When we redo that, Killian's got to be present again.
Oh my god, he's spinning in his wheel again.
He's motivated and happy. You can't
He
turn a
stopped
chinchilla.
as soon as I said that.
Because he knows.
Buddy. Such a dick.
Well, though, why don't you tell the fine people where they can find you at?
Yeah, of course. So you can find me on Twitch and everything else at LunarLilith28. Yep, that's all of my social medias: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, everything.
Appreciate that. And friends, you can find me at Astros Flame on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Be sure that's it. We're always here. We're chilling out and having a good time. So, friends, I'll let Lil do her closing sentiments.
Wait, sorry, it's been a minute.
Been like weeks.
Yeah, I know. Wait,
Closings.
what are our closing sentiments again?
They change every time we do this. Just closing sentiments.
Okay, all right, sorry. Stay motivated, do the thing, start streaming, and stay motivated.
And friends, keep believing, and we'll catch you next time.